It has truly been one hell of a week. Today we are going to be discussing some of the things that made this week so tiring. But first, let me welcome you to this space where we highlight stories that made the buzz recently. My name is Margaret Osazuwa Efoge. You are watching So This Happened. The tragic death of 22-year-old Oluwabamise Ayanwola, who went missing after boarding a Lagos bus rapid transit from Chevron bus stop at Lekki to Oshodi at about 7 p.m., is one news that has caused quite a stir on the internet. The good news is that the driver who was conveying the bus has been arrested and even arraigned at the Yaba Magistrate Court in Lagos. But here is where it gets rather traumatizing. He was questioned on his relationship with a suspected ritualist, and my oh my, as he's been saying quite a lot. According to the driver identified as Andrew, he absorbed himself completely of having anything to do with the mother, saying that he ran away out of here. Here's what he had to say.
When I followed that Kata bridge, after that overhead bridge, they ordered me to stop there. And when they ordered me to stop, so I should open the door. When I opened the door, then the next track, when they come down, they now start dragging her down. When I saw she was crying for help, actually I'm helpless. So I was just thinking that she's inside the vehicle holding the iron. So I move on.
Meanwhile, in another video, he confessed to having done something dirty with Bamise. In his own words, he said that she forced herself out, she was crying for help because of the dirty act I had done. I was afraid. I mean, if this isn't mentally depressing, then what is? The fact that this BRT driver is just saying whatever comes to his mind is really somewhat annoying. I mean, a life was lost in all of this, isn't it? It is over. Wait, what does it mean by he was held at gunpoint? First, what BRT bus doesn't have lights in it? Secondly, if you watch the video where Bamise called her friend to tell her about how uneasy she was feeling inside the bus, you would see that the driver was seated far from her and the bus was very, very dark. So this man is trying to tell me now that there were no police officers on the road. He couldn't just stop and shout, hey, wait. But what BRT bus conveys just 3 passengers when it can be 40 or more? I mean, it is BRT and not Danfo. Didn't the men who entered the bus use their card? Did they just trot into the bus? So many questions, honestly, so many questions. While I still believe these questions deserve an answer, I would like to point out that the sister of the late Bamise said that her body was recovered with some of her private parts missing. Now, this further prompted her to call on the Lagos state government and all the relevant bodies to ensure that the family gets justice. However, when the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Abiodun Alabi, spoke at a press conference, he said he was at the mortuary alongside some members of late Bamise's family, and there was no evidence whatsoever to show that any part of her body was mutilated. So who is now saying the truth? These killings have become something else in this country. To think that buses which are supposed to convey the masses are now being used to carry out such dastardly acts is indeed an eyesore, as it is very depressing. I just pray that Bamise's family find justice and God comforts them, because if the story of this young girl doesn't prick the conscience of our leaders to do the needful, then we are all on our own. It might not be like what is going on in Ukraine and Russia at the moment, but this already seems like a war zone. E Soleto e Africa. Solidarity forever, we shall always fight for our right. Soli, soli, soli. The National Union of Road Transport Workers slapped its Lagos State Chapter's chairman Musiliu Akinsanya, popularly known as MC Oluomo, with an indefinite suspension. Reports have it that Oluomo was suspended over alleged misconduct, insubordination, and inciting members of the state chapter against the apex body. It was, however, reported earlier that Oluomo was queried over the alleged assault of the newly appointed chairman of the tricycle operators. Oluomo was then directed to hand over the mantle of leadership to his deputy chairman. He was also ordered to release all properties belonging to the transport body in his possession to his state security. Meanwhile, in order to avoid a perceived violence that may arise in the state from the crisis rocking the National Union of Road Transport Workers, the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Abiodun Alabi, has increased security. In fact, it's like this man obviously knows that in this country, many easily resort to violence and had to ensure that he puts some security in place. Well, I just hope they won't get angry and increase transport fare, because it's no news that once they are upset in this country, they usually become very irrational. Anyway, here is NURTW Chairman MC Oluomo singing solidarity songs. On this episode of Slay Queen in Prison Season 1, ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Chidinma Ojukwu, winner of Miss 2022. So this auntie here recently was crowned the winner of a beauty pageant organized in the Kirikiri Correctional Center, Lagos. She was crowned Miss 2022 during the beauty pageant organized in commemoration of the 2022 International Women's Day. For most of you that are probably wondering, who is Chidinma Ojukwu? She's a 22-year-old University of Lagos undergraduate held for the alleged murder of Super TV CEO Usifo Ataga. Meanwhile, the case took a sudden twist when Ojukwu recanted her confession and pleaded not guilty to Ataga's murder when she appeared before a Lagos State High Court sitting at Tafa Balewa Square on October 2021. The 22-year-old, who remains in detention, is facing 8 counts bordering on the offenses of murder, forgery, and stealing. And these people are doing pageantry. Thank God. How do you people want the Ataga family to feel when they just see her sashaying around as a beauty queen? Speaking on the pageantry, the national spokesperson, Nigeria Correctional Service, Francis Enobore, reacting to the backlash, said that it was a part of the service's reformation and rehabilitation program done to keep the inmates in a sound and good spirit. Oh my God, Nigeria, my country. Now well done. We have come to the end of this episode on So This Happened. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe on all of our social media platforms. My name is Margaret Osazuwa Efoge. Bye for now.